Have you ever noticed how the best family memories rarely come from expensive outings, but from simple, shared moments? A quiet afternoon at home, a walk through the park, or laughter around the dinner table often stays with us far longer than a pricey trip. Today, let's explore creative low-cost family activities that seniors not only enjoy, but that also bring generations closer together. There's something timeless about sitting in a circle and sharing stories. A family storytelling circle is one of those activities that doesn't need much planning or money, yet it has the power to create memories that linger for years. Imagine everyone gathered in the living room with a warm cup of tea, or maybe some simple snacks on the table. The room feels cozy, and the focus isn't on screens or distractions, but on each other's voices. Seniors often light up in these moments because it gives them the chance to bring the past alive, whether it's recounting a childhood adventure, a life lesson learned the hard way, or even a humorous mishap that still makes them smile decades later. For the younger generations, listening to these stories can be eye-opening. A grandchild may suddenly see their grandmother not just as grandma, but as the young girl who once sneaked apples from her neighbor's orchard, or the teenager who saved up for her first bicycle. These tales become bridges between past and present, showing that the people we think we know still hold chapters of life that haven't been shared. It makes the family bond richer, layered with more understanding. The beauty of storytelling is that it naturally invites participation. Once a senior shares a story, it often sparks others to chime in. An adult child might share how hearing that story shaped their own decisions, while a grandchild might share a smaller but equally heartfelt memory. The circle becomes a chain of voices, weaving together experiences from different times and perspectives. Unlike a formal family meeting, there's no pressure. It's casual, light, and often full of laughter. Even quiet family members may surprise you by opening up when the space feels safe and inviting. What makes this activity especially meaningful is its role in preserving family history. In today's fast-paced world, we often forget to pause and capture stories before they fade. A storytelling circle becomes a living archive, something that could even be recorded with a simple phone to pass down later. Seniors appreciate that their experiences are valued, and younger family members gain a sense of belonging in a larger narrative. It reassures everyone that their family is more than just the present moment. It's a continuum of lives, choices, and lessons. At the heart of it, a storytelling circle is about more than words. It's about laughter that bubbles up unexpectedly, tears that come when someone shares something tender, and the simple act of being present together. It reminds us that even without spending a penny, families can create something priceless: connection through shared memory. Cooking together is one of those simple joys that turns an everyday task into an experience of togetherness. It doesn't matter if the kitchen is big or small, or if the recipe is fancy or simple. What matters is the laughter, conversation, and teamwork that happens while preparing a meal side by side. For seniors, it can bring back the rhythm of traditions they once carried, like baking bread from scratch or preparing family recipes that were passed down from their own parents. For younger family members, it's an opportunity to learn, not just about ingredients and techniques, but about history and culture wrapped up in each dish. There's something comforting about chopping vegetables together while sharing small stories, or kneading dough while humming a tune from the past. Each step of the process becomes more than just preparation. It becomes a shared ritual. A grandmother showing her grandchild how to roll out dough thin enough for a perfect chapati, or a grandfather explaining how he learned to season a stew by smell rather than by measurement, brings lessons that you won't find in cookbooks. These moments remind everyone that food isn't only about filling stomachs, it's about nourishing relationships. Cooking together also creates space for creativity. Families can experiment with making a meal from whatever is in the pantry, turning it into a playful challenge. Seniors often excel here, teaching how to make the most of simple ingredients, a skill they may have learned in times when resources were scarce. Younger family members, on the other hand, might bring modern twists or healthier adaptations, blending tradition with fresh ideas. The mix of old and new becomes a symbol of how generations can complement one another. And then comes the best part: sitting down to eat the meal everyone helped prepare. The food always seems to taste better because it carries the effort, laughter, and love of everyone who contributed. Even small things, like washing the dishes together afterward, can extend the bonding. These shared kitchen sessions don't have to happen only on special occasions either. A simple Sunday breakfast made as a team, or even preparing snacks for an evening gathering, can feel just as memorable. What makes cooking together special is that it turns ordinary time into extraordinary connection. It's a chance for seniors to feel useful and appreciated, for children to learn life skills, and for families to create traditions without spending much at all. Long after the plates are cleared, what lingers is the warmth of having built something together, one ingredient and one story at a time. Nature walks may sound simple, but they often turn into some of the most cherished family moments. There's a quiet magic in stepping outside together, leaving behind the noise of television, phones, and daily routines, and just letting the rhythm of walking guide the conversation. For seniors, nature walks offer a pace that feels comfortable and enjoyable, allowing them to stay active while still being fully present. For younger family members, it becomes a gentle lesson in slowing down, noticing the little details that are so easy to miss in a busy life. Imagine strolling through a local park where the air feels crisp, the trees sway with the breeze, and the sound of birds forms the backdrop to your conversation. These walks rarely require planning or money, yet they open the door to natural connection. Seniors often use the opportunity to share stories linked to the seasons, what spring meant to them as children, or how autumn always reminded them of certain traditions. These reflections create a sense of continuity, turning a simple walk into a thread that ties past to present. What makes nature walks so powerful is the way they encourage unhurried conversations. Unlike sitting across from one another at a table, walking side by side makes it easier to talk without pressure. Words seem to flow more naturally when feet are moving and eyes are wandering. A grandparent might share advice in a softer way, a child might open up about something on their mind, and laughter often comes from the smallest observations, like spotting a squirrel darting across the path or naming shapes in the clouds. These walks also offer small opportunities for shared discovery. Families can make it playful by spotting different flowers, collecting interesting leaves, or even identifying birds together. Seniors often bring knowledge of plants or nature that they learned long ago, while younger members may bring a smartphone app to identify species, blending tradition with technology in a way that sparks curiosity. It becomes less about exercise and more about learning from one another. Even the act of choosing a route can feel special, whether it's the same familiar path that becomes your family walk or exploring new corners of the neighborhood together. Over time, these walks become rituals that everyone looks forward to, a simple yet grounding reminder that quality time doesn't need to be complicated. At the heart of it, nature walks are less about the distance covered and more about the closeness created, step by step, in the company of those you love. Creative projects with household items have a way of sparking imagination while bringing generations together in a relaxed and joyful way. The beauty lies in the fact that you don't need to buy expensive supplies or plan a complicated activity. With just a little curiosity and teamwork, ordinary objects lying around the house can turn into something fun, useful, or even meaningful. For seniors, this often awakens memories of a time when resourcefulness was a way of life, and for younger family members, it becomes a refreshing lesson in seeing potential where others might see clutter. Imagine gathering everyone at the dining table with a box of odds and ends, jars, buttons, scraps of fabric, old magazines, and cardboard. Instead of looking at them as leftovers, the family can start to brainstorm what they could become. A glass jar may turn into a lantern with some paint and a candle inside. Old photos could be turned into a handmade collage or memory board. Even bottle caps might inspire a playful piece of art or a simple game. The process is not about perfection, but about laughter, creativity, and teamwork as ideas bounce back and forth across generations. Seniors often shine in these activities because they've spent years making the most out of what they had. They can share clever hacks, like using flour and water to make homemade paste or showing how to stitch together fabric scraps for a small cushion cover. This knowledge feels like a gift passed down in the most natural way, while younger family members bring fresh imagination or artistic flair. Together, the family creates something that carries both history and new energy. The projects don't always have to be decorative either. They can be practical and fun at the same time. Families might organize a repurpose challenge, where everyone takes one item and transforms it into something useful. A shoebox could become a storage container, or a set of jars could be decorated and labeled for spices. This playful challenge often sparks laughter and a bit of friendly competition, reminding everyone that creativity thrives when people work side by side. At the end of the day, it's not about the finished product, but about the shared experience. Families leave with more than crafts. They leave with inside jokes, newfound skills, and a deeper sense of connection. These projects remind everyone that joy doesn't need to be bought. It can be built with imagination, time, and a table full of simple household treasures. Music has a unique way of reaching across generations, making it one of the simplest yet most powerful family activities. A song from the past can instantly transport seniors back to their youth, while a modern tune may introduce younger family members to rhythms and styles they've never heard before. What makes music so special is that it doesn't need translation. Its rhythm, melody, and emotion speak directly to the heart. Families that share music together often find themselves building bonds in ways that words alone cannot achieve. Picture a family evening where everyone chooses a favorite song to play. A grandfather might pick an old classic he danced to as a teenager, and as it plays, he can't resist sharing the story of where he first heard it or who he danced with. A grandchild might laugh and then play a modern track, teaching the older generation how to clap along to its beat. In that exchange, a bridge is built, one that carries stories, laughter, and genuine curiosity about each other's worlds. Seniors often carry songs tied to memories, melodies that were played at weddings, on radios during historic events, or sung in their homes during childhood. When they share these songs, it's not just music being passed down but pieces of family history. Younger members, in turn, can introduce seniors to music they enjoy today, making the exchange mutual rather than one-sided. This back and forth creates respect for different tastes and an appreciation for how music has evolved. What's fascinating is how quickly music can turn into activity. Families can sing along together, tap out rhythms on the table, or even dance in the living room. It doesn't need to be polished or perfect. Often the clumsy dance steps or slightly off key singing are the moments that bring the most joy. These playful interactions loosen everyone up, breaking down generational walls and creating a sense of unity. Music also opens the door for small traditions. A family could create a memory playlist that grows over time, with each member adding songs that mean something to them. Listening back years later, the playlist becomes a time capsule of shared experiences, a soundtrack of the family's journey together. At its heart, music connects not just ears but hearts. It reminds everyone that while decades may separate family members in age, the emotions carried through a song, joy, longing, love, celebration, remain the same. In this way, music doesn't just entertain, it builds understanding and closeness across generations. Themed nights at home have a way of transforming an ordinary evening into something special without needing a big budget or much planning. The idea is simple: pick a theme, set the mood, and let everyone contribute in their own way. For seniors, these nights bring variety and fun into the routine, while for younger family members, they create a sense of tradition and excitement that feels different from the usual dinner or television evening. What makes them powerful is the creativity and collaboration they invite from every generation. Imagine a movie night where the family picks an old classic that grandparents once loved and pairs it with homemade popcorn. Before the film starts, the seniors might share what that movie meant to them when it first came out, adding a layer of personal history to the experience. On another evening, the family might decide on a cultural theme. Everyone brings something small that reflects a different country, whether it's food, music, or even just an interesting fact. A senior could recall memories of traveling or stories from friends abroad, while the younger ones add fresh discoveries they've learned online. Themed nights can also lean into simple activities like puzzle marathons, board game nights, or storytelling evenings where everyone comes prepared with a funny or meaningful story to share. Seniors often enjoy these because they encourage interaction without needing much physical energy. Younger family members, on the other hand, love the chance to compete, laugh, and celebrate small wins together. The mixture of fun and bonding creates a balance that works for all ages. One twist that families often overlook is letting seniors take the lead in choosing the theme. When they pick, it not only honors their preferences but also creates opportunities for them to share traditions. A grandparent might suggest a family recipe night, where everyone cooks a dish connected to the past, or a memory lane night, where old photo albums are revisited alongside light snacks. These themes are simple but deeply meaningful, turning an evening into both entertainment and a way to preserve family history. The joy of themed nights lies in how they can be repeated and reinvented endlessly. No two evenings feel the same, and over time, they become traditions that families look forward to. At the heart of it, these nights remind everyone that creating fun and connection doesn't require going out or spending much. It only needs imagination, willingness, and the warmth of being together at home. The truth is, what seniors love most isn't extravagance, it's inclusion. It's the feeling of being woven into family life, of sharing laughter, stories, and simple pleasures that leave lasting warmth. So the next time you're looking for something meaningful to do together, remember that connection doesn't come with a price tag. If you've tried a low-cost activity that brought your family closer, share your story in the comments. Your idea might inspire someone else's next family memory. And if you found these ideas helpful, consider subscribing for more conversations about family bonding and retirement life.